Diana, I got your number from your resume on LinkedIn. My name is Sarah, and I'm an old student of... And like you, we had a relationship. I don't know the circumstances of your relationship with him, but it concerns me to see his behavior continued long after I knew him. I'm curious if you would be willing to talk to me about your experience. If not, I respect that.
Sarah, I am at a loss of words, but also have so much to say. Yes, I would love to talk to you about this. Were you a student in Iowa? This is Diana.
This is Sarah.
And this is Blooming After Grooming, our podcast. So here we are again. We recorded our first episode last week, but it's not going to be the first episode that airs. So even in season 2, we're doing all kinds of fun time traveling, Sarah.
Diana,
we're keeping it going.
When will you learn to stop explaining to people the order in which we record things?
I just want people to have all the information. I want them to really feel like they're here with us.
How was your break between season 1 and season 2 of our podcast?
Well, there was lots of life happening. It's been a bit of a challenge. Listeners, you might remember that Dan and I broke up at the end of season 1. I didn't ever create the My Mild Oats podcast, but because guys, podcast is so much work.
It's true.
But I haven't published anything yet, but I've started a few blog entries that I might release as a little blog series on my website sometime down the future. But I've just been, trying to settle into my new house and figure out what's next as far as work. I started writing a book, so that's very exciting.
No big deal.
No big deal. Enjoying the festive season, and I am really happy that it's January. I really am. I just want to hibernate this month as much as possible. Sarah, what about you? What have you been up to? How was teaching a college class? For how many months was it? 3 or 4?
I don't think it's my calling. I could be wrong. Here's the deal. It was an experience. I didn't dislike teaching. I would say the social awkwardness side of it was really difficult. This younger generation is a little bit quieter and shyer than I had anticipated. I'm a bit of a gabber, as you and listeners may be aware of, and I tend to be very blah, 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 just kind of a goofy, casual person. And I feel like I scared some of them because they were just leave me alone. I'm quiet and shy. So, some of them warmed up to me. Some of them did not. Yeah, it was a interesting experience, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot about teaching, and I learned some hacks for the design programs that I use, just watching other people's brains. The way that different people use the same program is just kind of interesting. Everybody gets to that same endpoint in different ways. And so I learned some cool things that way. Yeah, I definitely had concerns and talked to my therapist about it before and after. Obviously had concerns going into it, given my lived experience as far as being triggered or just stepping into that role of being a teacher after having been abused by one. But I was pleasantly surprised that it didn't really bother me. Wasn't a part of it, right? That it didn't trigger anything for me. And I even had some students at the end of the semester start talking about age gaps in relationships. And one kid was like, "You got groomed, bro." And it was a bunch of young boys talking about it. And I just sat back and I was like, oh my goodness, look at these kids with this vocabulary and this understanding. And
there's hope for them after all.
Yeah, that made me feel a lot better. I was like, oh, okay. These kids got a lot more tools in their toolbox than we had. So that was cool to see. But yeah, so I was teaching, and I would say that is a majority of what I was doing between season 1 and season 2, because I was still working full time and then teaching 2 college courses on top of that. So it was been cuckoo bananas. And then I spent Christmas break in my pajamas. I fucking hunkered down.
Hell yeah.
It was delightful.
I don't believe we talked about this on the podcast because this was also during the little hiatus, but you went back to your old high school.
I did go
right?
back to my old high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We haven't talked about that either. Yeah. So I got invited back to the old, well, K through 12th building, not just high school.
Oh,
The
my
whole,
apologies.
yeah. Her son was in a school play for the first time. And so she was like, oh, if you want to come, you should come down. And I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. So all of us high school, or my group of friends from high school, all went back to my old school and watched a school play, which was shockingly great. Like, it was a really good show. The kids did a great job. It was really funny. And it was a tight hour. It was 1 hour. And I was like, this is the
Nice.
perfect amount of time.
Hell yeah. Yes.
I want all community theater to be 1 fucking hour. 1 hour.
Shorter than a Disney movie. Come on.
Yes. Get in and get the fuck out. So no, it was very good. But I was definitely nervous before going because it was the first time that I would have been like really in the school. I went into the superintendent's office one time to meet with the superintendent like 2 years ago, but that was literally like in the front door, take your first right, you're in his office. And that was like kind of a newer part of the building I hadn't, or just like a part of the building I hadn't been in before. This was like our old gym where we had, school dances and lunch and like where our plays were and stuff. So it was like a space that I had spent a lot of time in. And yeah, so I was definitely really nervous about it, but luckily it was fine. And, again, though I went with like my best friends and they obviously like know my story and what happened and like listen to the podcast. And I've been friends with them for like fucking 30 some years at this point. So I felt like I had a really good support system. And before we went, I said, hey guys, there's a chance I'm going to flip out and I'm not going to be able to do this and I'm going to have to leave. And everyone was like, that's cool. Like if you need to go, we'll go, or, whatever. So that, I think that helps sometimes. If you can just say it instead of having to like internally be worried that you're going to freak out and the people around you aren't going to understand. Like if you can just say, hey, I might freak out, I feel like that takes some of the like pressure off of the situation.
Yeah. And I just love that you had that kind of friendships that you can give your friends a little insight into what's going on with you. And of course, like they know you and they've known you for however many years, but I don't know, maybe I'm projecting a little bit because I feel sometimes like people get tired of me talking about abuse and trauma and stuff. And I mean, I wish it wasn't what happened to me in my life, That's not true. I don't know. That's complicated. It's complicated. I am who I am because of my experiences.
Yes. We've talked about this. Yes.
Yeah. But I'm very happy and I'm grateful that you were with people that you felt comfortable enough being honest about where you were at and that they supported you.
It's true. And also, if they're listening and they do get tired of my shit, that is also totally fucking fine. Like, but they never make me feel that way. Like, you know what I mean? That's the thing. I think we've all been in that position where you have a friend who's going through something and in the back of your head, you're like, bitch, shut up. I don't want to listen to you talk about this anymore. The key is you don't say that to the person. You could feel it in the back of your head and be like, man, I'm looking forward to being done with this conversation because we've had it 500 times. Yeah. And all I had said was, I was just like, this will be the first time I will be in this space. And I was concerned about the like the smells. Cause oh my God, it smelled exactly the same. Like the gym smelled exactly the same. And yeah, it was just really funny because it was like, oh, I'm like super nervous about this. And then I went and we were just being ourselves, like just goofy like we were in high school. And we were like, we went to the bathroom. We were like giggling in the bathroom. And I was like, Jesus, this feels just like our homecoming dance. And we were like giggling in the same bathroom. And then we went into the gym and it was very funny. We were just giggling. And my friend whose kids were in the play, ended up having to be a few rows behind us because she was with her husband and her other little kiddo and then her parents. And I think maybe her aunt was there or something. So she was kind of a few rows behind us. And it was so sweet. Like afterwards, she like texted and she was like, it really means a lot that you guys came to see like my kids in this play. Like that was really cool of you. And she's like, also, it was really cool to watch all of you guys just giggle. Like it was just like, you guys were just, everything is the same. Like you guys were just sitting there like giggling and laughing and like huddled together and just like having a good time. And yeah. So it was nice to like kind of reclaim the space a little bit, which was kind of my goal. Make some new memories. And then we snuck around the school afterwards. And my one friend was like, we're going to get in trouble. And I'm like, we're a bunch of fucking perimenopausal women. You're on the PTA. I think we're going to be fine.
Yeah. Ooh, we're so bad. Just click right back into high school.
Yeah. So we like snuck around and looked at all the old classrooms and stuff. But that was really nice too, because as we were like running around, we passed where the teacher's classroom had been our senior year, like when all that stuff happened. And my one friend Gus was all like, fuck that room. And she was just like, next. And she was like, kept walking. And I was like, yay. I'm like, thank you. Like, I don't know. It was very good. So I'm very grateful that I had them. And well, always grateful that I have them. But yeah, that was kind of a trippy experience, but it was good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Do you have any 2026 goals or resolutions or anything that you want to just throw out there or chat about?
I refuse to make resolutions.
Okay.
I'm not a New Year's resolution. Pretty much since 2020, Diana, I am just don't touch anything. Don't fuck anything up. Hope that the universe does not smite you. That's the vibe I've been in for the last 6 years of just like on New Year's Eve, my friend was like, this is my year. And I was like, shut the fuck up. I was like, what are you doing? You just jinxing it for everybody, dude. You can't make declarations anymore. We're in a China shop, brother.
Yes, I am having deja vu because I'm pretty sure I asked you this at a previous year. We've known each other for a few years, and I remember you saying I don't do resolutions.
No, I just hope to get out of the year with all of my important body parts intact and important people I love still alive. That is my goal. Just let's, for the love of God, not suffer terrible losses. The bar is so fucking low right now.
Know, for real. I saw this meme on this witchy shop that I follow, and it was what's her name? Sarah from The Craft, and she's doing that binding spell, but instead of Nancy, it's it's just her face, and it says, I bind you 2026 from doing harm against others and harm against yourself.
Precisely the mode that I am in. Yes. How about you? I think you're a little bit more of an optimistic person than I am. Do you have any resolutions or hopes or dreams or aspirations for this year?
Yes, I did. I did some witchy stuff in the new year, and I burned some a pine cone with some wishes in it, and burned some other pieces of paper. And yeah, I have some goals for this year. I want to complete a manuscript for this book. I want to officially buy this house because I'm renting right now.
Ooh la la.
A fun project that I'm going to do this year. So one of my friends gave me this idea to write down like little goals or wishes, that you might have for yourself this year. And then like you burn one up until like the night of New Year's Eve or something. And then like the one you pull out last is the one to really focus on. And the one that I pulled out was make a movie. Because
Diana, I like that you made them really attainable goals for yourself. Jesus.
I think I really was hoping to get that one because I knew like I would have to get serious about learning how to use my fancy new camera that I got last year. And so Chris and I are actually going to work on a little project together. It's going to be fun. It's not like I'm going to, try to win fucking awards for anything. I've always wanted to make a movie like in another life. I don't know if I've said this on this podcast before or not, but I really would have loved to be like a movie director. So yeah, that's going to be like a fun project. Also probably a lot of work, I'm sure, but I'm looking forward to that. And the topic is, I'm not going to say the topic yet, but I think it's going to be popular amongst our listeners.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, ironically, I was obsessed with watching the TV show Movie Magic that was on like AMC or some shit back in the day, and it was all about movie special effects. And my dream as a kid was to be a movie special effects artist. So it's funny. If we lived closer, I would help you with your special effects on your movie.
Like you want to be the person like rattling the chains,
yes,
like the spooky
or
effect,
like,
and
like sculpting the crazy, like monster heads and making the prosthetic pieces and like figuring out how to like do a werewolf face transition, like pre-CGI, practical effects, claymation, dioramas. Oh my God, dioramas. If I got paid for 8 months to make a tiny 2-scale diorama of New York and then I got to blow it the fuck up, what else could you want? What else could you want in life? That's the fucking
Nothing.
dream.
It's perfect life.
Yeah. Is
Okay.
this film that you're going to try to make, Diana, a full length feature film? Or are we just talking like a short?
No.
How many minutes are we going for?
40-ish, maybe?
That's still pretty long, girl.
Okay, maybe 20 to 30.
Okay. You start.
I don't know.
All I can think of is do you watch Parks and Rec?
Of course.
When he gets fired and he makes the claymation short film.
That he spent like weeks on, and it's just like a second of this little thing standing up.
He's like, oh my God, I need help.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good show.
That's gonna be me. It's gonna involve real people based on a real story. So yeah, more details to come. All right. Well, now a little bit more about the podcast. Now that we've given a little summary of what we've been up to, let's talk about season 2, Sarah. What are you most curious about for season 2?
I am most curious about us talking with other people and how we will do that and how that will go, which I think will be fine and great. I was telling my friend Monica about it. She goes, you guys are great conversationalists. It'll be fine. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm excited to be bringing in different people so a sidebar, season 2, we have a bunch of really exciting guests lined up who are going to join us on different episodes to chat about just absolutely everything under the sun that could be vaguely related to this subject. And I'm excited to just, hear other people's experiences and how other people are moving through the world and taking action. Yeah, I'm just excited to kind of like give other people a platform and some space to share their points of view. How about you?
I'm also interested to see how it works out talking with other people, having like a third person in here. And especially with like the people that we have only had like 1 or 2 conversations with that maybe don't know us that well. And I'm excited for the unplanned stuff that's going to pop up because, we have our outline of how it's going to work out, and we have like our guests and our room scroll episodes. But of course, like, life happens, surprises happen. And like, I feel this is new territory for us. And I don't know, maybe we'll make even more connections and have on even more people than we thought that we would, or I don't know. I'm excited about the opportunities.
Okay. What is your goal? Your resolution for season 2 of Blooming After Grooming? Like, what is your, you know what I'm saying? What is your, like, we did it checkbox? That was my checkbox noise. That was weird. It sounded like a pop can.
Ooh. You know what, Sarah? I really appreciate this question because the thing that I was most proud of in 2025 was this podcast. Like, you and I had been planning on doing this for years and had to like stop a couple of times. And we could have just been like, you know what? It's past, but we didn't. Like, we did it, and it's been a lot of work. And I think that we did reach our goal, which was to help a person. I know we helped more than one person, and we helped encourage conversations between parents and kids. And the amount of emails we've gotten from people who are like, I'm so happy I found this. I wish I found this sooner. I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud that we did that last year. And yeah, I guess I haven't thought about, where to expand or like where to push it, even further. Okay. Here's a goal. I would like, and we'll talk about the potential Facebook group in a bit, but I would like a goal of mine would be for some kind of actual like action or change or something to happen that is started or is like led or like a listener is involved in some way. Like I want to get an email from a listener who's like, I joined this political action group and we were able to change my district's policy about teachers dating students, something like that. Like I would love
Yeah.
to see that come through this season.
That's a good goal. That's a good goal. Yeah. I have been surprised by how many, and I guess I shouldn't be because I was saying this to Carl the other day. Like, I think in my brain, I'm like, well, we were doing the podcast and then the season ended. And in my brain, it's like, I'm thinking about this like the radio and everyone's listening live with us, which is not what's happening. My husband hasn't even finished the first season, for Christ's sakes. Like, and I've been very surprised by the amount of new listeners that have found the pod since we finished the first season. Just looking at like streams online and then also just like emails that we've been getting of people being, we just got one 2 days ago, yesterday or something, of people, you know, saying how much it meant to them. And I think that's just a continuous great motivation to have, right? Is that like clearly this is like helping people like us and helping educate people who aren't like us. And yeah, I think that's just pretty exciting. But I also like your goal too, which is, you know, what action can all of this take? And, you know, that's kind of always been that's been my dream for a long time now. I feel like after watching certain documentaries about like the Boy Scouts, which is one of our Groom Scroll episodes that we'll talk about, Scouts Honor, that documentary, and watching the documentary about like the kids that were abused and the Gymnastics USA scandal, and just realizing like how many kids there are, survivors there are of all kinds of abuse. And like, there are literally hundreds of thousands of us, and what could be done if we all actually like connected and clicked in and like activated together towards change, I think could be like hugely monumental. And I'm not saying that's our goal out of the podcast because that's huge, but like, I think that's what's exciting about having guests is we are going to be talking to people who are coming from different aspects of that overarching subject of child abuse, right? But the idea of, you know, broadening it outside of teacher specific or educator specific necessarily, I think is exciting, because I think the more that we can connect all of these people together, the stronger the network becomes. I have a question for you, and this is going to feel like a really big jump, but I am very intrigued by this. Do you watch Stranger Things?
Yes.
Okay. Are you caught up on season 5?
I am.
Okay. Hush. I haven't finished.
Okay.
We watched through episode 5 or 6 last night. I think maybe 6. But I'm curious if this moment in the show stood out to you, because it stood out to me and it made me think a lot about like us and our journey and all the stuff. But and spoiler alert, bitches, if you are not in season 5, okay, by the time this comes out, everybody should be caught up, and it's your own business if you haven't. But I'm talking about season 5, episode 5 of Stranger Things. And nothing I'm saying is really I don't really think it's like a plot twist at all. But when Vecna is talking to Will and he's like stealing all the kids, and Vecna, I'm going to read the transcript because this is how much I was interested in this. So Vecna says, "Do you know why I chose them? Why I chose them to reshape the world? It's because they are weak, easily broken." And as this is happening, they're showing all these little kids getting like drug away by like demogorgons and stuff. Easily reshaped, controlled, the perfect vessels. And then what does he say? Oh, this isn't the whole thing. God damn it, internet.
I do remember the part that you're talking about, and I definitely do remember having a reaction to that.
I don't know. I just thought it was such a cool moment because, yeah, he's like sitting there saying, you know, all these kids essentially, I mean, he does. He just says like they're weak, they're easy to shame, they're easy to control, they're easy to break. And then that's also, spoiler alert, right before Will then figures out that he does have power and that like he can do something, connects into the hive mind and like fucking kills a bunch of the demogorgons. But like in my brain, I was like, oh my God, this is like that aha moment for like, that's Will's. And in my brain, I was like, and those fucking demogorgons are like our fucking teacher. You know what I mean? And we fucking snap that motherfucker. Like it just, I don't know. I thought it was like so interesting reading into it, given my personal experience, but it really like stood out to me. Just that kind of idea of like, that is why people abuse children and are predators to them, because they're small And
Yeah.
people think that they can control them and that they'll never fight back. And they, yes and no, right? Like both things can be true. But anyways, I just thought that was interesting. We watched it last night.
Yeah, I definitely do remember. I think for me it was more like self-reflective because I think I talked about this a little bit on like the recap of last year, but through this work and like the podcast and my experience and all this learning that I've done, I feel like as a person, I have come to respect kids more. And I know that sounds weird to say. I feel like I just have more empathy and understanding and I feel more defensive of kids now. Like when adults are complaining about kids. And I still am when there's a crying kid on the plane. But like I used to be.
You're like, listen, I will never defend a child on an airplane.
But, when I was hearing like that monologue from Vecna, it was more just how little we value kids and like use them in weird ways, the way that Vecna is trying to use them. So, okay, everyone come back. We're done talking about.
And you can edit this out. I just wanted to talk to you about it. If it's not important, we can take it out. It's fine.
Who are you excited to talk to this season as far as our guests go?
There is a legislator who has via text message agreed to be on the show, and I am very excited about that. I was very worried that person would not say yes because we do cuss a lot and because we're kind of like and like, people in politics.
Very outspoken.
I want to say it feels like they have to be careful about what they do, but let's be honest, nothing matters anymore. I don't know. I feel like I'm excited about all of them. I feel like all of the people, sidebar, everyone we have asked has said yes, which is a very big compliment to both of us, Diana. And I think all the people that have said yes give a lot of credence and like respectability to our little podcast. We've got some serious people coming on this podcast this season, and I am very excited. We got authors, we got a journalist, we got a politician, got activists,
an educator. Like one that's currently in a school system. Yeah.
We've got Faith, who we can talk about because we did a teaser of her, who has a fucking law named after her.
All of these guests are going to be beneficial to our listeners, but I know that we've specifically had questions about how to make change and what would be the first step in trying to get involved as far as like creating a bill or advocating for policy. So that one I'm really excited about. The authors, because, I'm in the very, very, very early stages of writing a book myself. And I think both of one has agreed. Okay, so Megan Farrison is an author and a survivor and advocate who has agreed officially. And we have like a whole schedule thing and everything. So I feel confident saying her name.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to talk to her. She started a like Facebook support group for people who are survivors of educator sexual abuse and misconduct specifically. And that's been really beneficial. I know for me, I don't want to speak for you, Sarah, but I assume also for you, like we've both really enjoyed being part of that group. So I'm excited to have her on. And then if the other author that you've been in touch with of like officially does, I know she said yes, but like, scheduling and everything, I'm really excited to talk to her. If we can actually get her.
I know. I feel like I'm going to fangirl out if she actually comes on the podcast. I'm going to be like, oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. It's very exciting. I should say everyone but Brooke Shields. Threw a Hail Mary, folks, and I sent an official inquiry to her management. So if you out there work for Brooke Shields, let me know.
Get back
still
to us.
Stands. Fuck it. Whatever. We tried. I am. Yeah, I'm super excited about it, and I think it's gonna be fun. I don't know. Like, it sounds weird, and I know that shouldn't sound weird, and we've been doing this for a while, but like, I am excited just to talk to these people. I'm super excited for Terry. Terry is a fucking spitfire, dude. Like, that's gonna be a good time.
We're just gonna sit back and let her do all the talking, I think. Because she has so much to say.
Listen, when Terry Miller comes on, y'all fucking lock in. That lady is a hoot and a half. Yeah, she's been like doing this work as long as we've been alive. So we're just little activist babies.
That is so true. Wow.
Yeah.
So going back to the Facebook group a little bit, we had, as I mentioned, Megan has this group for survivors. I would say like more support group, for people to kind of vent or when they need community. It's a great place to go or share resources. Sarah and I were thinking of creating a support, or not a support group, a Facebook group affiliated with our podcast to be more of like an action oriented group for people who are like either, because as we've talked about, there are individuals and organizations already doing the research and doing the groundwork and talking to legislators and talking to people and making change. So I think the goal would be to try to connect people with some of those groups or other, people who want to work on some kind of change together, to say, hey, I don't know, Mary Beth from Delaware, and I am working in this town on this bill. Maybe someone else in the group is also in that area and wants to help support. So we don't want to step on Megan's toes. I think for anyone who is interested in joining her group, we'll definitely have her talk about that. But yeah, right now it's an idea, but I feel like the listeners that have reached out kind of been wanting some answers as far as like how to get involved. Because I think for so many of us, we have this realization, maybe we're able to get accountability from our abuser, probably not, but we still want to do something. And I just like the idea of like a central hub where people can connect and touch base about the kind of change that they're trying to do in their communities. Let us know what you think, listeners. Would this be, are you interested?
Yeah.
Should we not even do the work in making it happen? Let us know.
Yeah, kind of goes both ways. Yeah, no, I think we're both open to, any kind of next steps that listeners might be interested in or suggestions. Keep those messages coming, email us, hit us up on Instagram. We've got to contact us through the website. If you've got suggestions for groom scrolls, let us know. We've got a pretty good list going for this year or for this season, but doesn't mean that we are not open to suggestions. And, kind of like the little Vecna conversation we just had, I'm sure, listen, horrors will persist. There will be something in pop culture that happens that we don't know about today that we will surely be talking about at some point in season 2.
Yes.
Oh, also, we didn't talk about, Diana, that since season 1, you also gave your first public presentation about being a survivor.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's
Duh.
Yes. Okay. So if you follow our Instagram, you've already seen pictures. Sarah was with me. Sarah traveled and attended this conference with me, the Illinois School Counselor Association conference. If you remember, I was a high school counselor for 6 years. And I was thinking about that presentation earlier, actually, because I haven't gotten back like the evaluations. So I don't know what people thought about it, but in the moment, it felt like it went well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what I did think about recently? Actually, it was fucking today. I even almost texted you today. I realized that the part where I was like, let's talk about what grooming is and what grooming is not. I never said grooming is not reading the book Genderqueer. And I'm so sad I didn't say that because I said it in the run through with you. And like, I just realized today that I
can't believe you fucking remember that you didn't say that, by the way. That was like 2 months ago. Yeah. No, you did a great job. And it was, probably nerve-wracking to be up there. I mean, I was nervous for you just sitting there. Like, I would say I felt very like, like those old cartoons when there's like the bulldog and then the little chihuahua and the bulldog's like all calm and like chill. And the chihuahua's all like, get away. Oh, fuck yeah. Like, I felt like the little chihuahua that I was like, don't you mess with my girl. Huh. Like, I was like ready to just get like all fucking defensive and be like, back up. And so I feel like that was how I felt going into it. Like, I was like, if anybody says some stupid shit in this room, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah, I remember when so the first fucking question I got through the presentation was a lady who raised her hand and asked me, where are my parents? No, not even my parents. Where was my mother? Specifically my mother. And
sidebar, she also interrupted you in the middle of your presentation to ask that question. I would just like to put that in there.
And I purposely did not look at you, Sarah, because I did not want to see your reaction because I was like, oh, Sarah's upset. I'm going to get upset and I need to just do this on my own.
I feel like I was mostly in shock. I didn't get mad. I was mostly just like, A, I can't believe she just said, like, in the middle of your presentation, just was like, and then B, I was really impressed with the way that the room kind of responded to her and you didn't have to, which was really nice. Like, cause she said, like, you're right. She didn't say parents. She said your mother, which, good Lord, we could unpack that for 4 days. But I feel like almost immediately after because the context was Diana was talking about spending a lot of time at school before and after school hours with the teacher. And this woman was like, well, you know, where was your mom at? Or like, why didn't your mom think that that was a bad idea or think that that was weird or whatever? And I feel like almost immediately one of the other people in the room was like, yeah, but it's school. It's supposed to be safe. And I was like, yes. Like, because all of a sudden the room just kind of, everyone started talking. And I feel like that stressed me out because I was like, oh my God, is she about to like lose this room? Like, is it about to just dissolve into like chaos? You know, side conversations. And then are these two people going to start arguing with each other? Like, I think that's almost more what stressed me out at that moment. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, yeah, this is a heated subject.
Yes. Listeners, I would recommend not asking that question because like, what the fuck am I supposed to say? I don't know. I was impressed with how I handled it, to be honest. I feel like I kind of went out of my body to handle that. Because for like my first question it's not what I was expecting. So yeah, that happened. And it was overall a really, really good experience. And I'm really happy that you were there with me.
Yeah, I'm super glad that I went. It was very cool to watch you give that presentation. You did a very good job and your presentation was very cute. And like, I shouldn't say cute, very well designed and put together, but it was kind of cute.
Thank you.
And you did a good job, I think, at, you know, kind of doing what we're doing on the podcast, which is like sharing your story, but you did it in a very like protected, not guarded, but protected way. And you did a good job at like referencing your personal experience, but the main focus of the presentation was about the bigger issue, right? Of abuse and how these professionals can spot it in the kids in their school district. And the big issue of like spotting it in their coworkers, even if they like them, you know, because we've learned that's a big part of it. No, I think you did a very good job. And I can't believe I forgot to bring that up until later on in this recording. I'm like, oh wait, duh.
I mean, I forgot to, Sarah, so no worries. Thank you for remembering.
It was a memorable day.
All right. Well, yes, that's our welcome back episode, everyone. We are very excited for season 2. I'm really looking forward to the information and the insight that our guests are going to bring and how our listeners are going to respond to that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for hopefully coming back. I guess if you're listening to this, you did. Thanks for coming back to season 2 of Blooming After Grooming. Tell your friends, get a hold of us if you've got any suggestions for the pod. You know, we are always excited to hear from people. Thanks for listening. And remember, grow through what you
go through. Hey, we did it. Okay, bye.
Boing, 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 boing. We did it. Oh my God, Diana.
We did it, kind of. We'll get there. Oh, I might have thought of a sign off for us. It only took a season, but what do you think about grow through what you go through?
Ooh, girl.